Indiana Fever teammate on shaky ground as Caitlin Clark's injury triggers national reporters' cold dose of reality. I think sometimes when we use the term hub, oftentimes they think passing all the time. And it's not. It's using her to get into another action. When Stephanie White took on coaching duties for the Indiana Fever, she envisioned building the team around Aaliyah Boston. And while she has always been a staunch supporter of Caitlin Clark, the head coach believes that Boston can become the engine of the Fever's attack. And Boston did not fail the head coach. Proof. Through 4 games this year, she's averaged 15.7 points, 10.0 rebounds, and 2.3 blocks per game, shooting over 59% from the floor. But this is sports, and there's a twist. A quick glance at the last season will tell you that Boston spent a considerable chunk of her time on the court as part of a more traditional lineup, mostly rolling alongside power forwards NaLyssa Smith or Temi Fagbenle. And if the data provided by Wnba.com is to be believed, then Boston played 1,054 of the 1,236 minutes alongside another big. But now, and it's all thanks to White's efforts, she is on the three-point line, passing the ball from the top. But her priority? Being comfortable in every position she plays in. But that was somewhat of a struggle last year. She had rocky moments finding that on-court chemistry with Caitlin Clark, but they eventually figured out a way to make plays. But with Clark sitting out for at least 2 weeks due to a strained left quad, it seems like trouble for Boston, and the entire Fever roster has just begun. And voicing that same concern is national reporter Ross Gold on the latest episode of the Good Follow podcast. So much of her success, which has been great, very much comes from the work she's doing with Caitlin Clark in the pick and roll. The two of them are fantastic together, and Aaliyah does a great job of reading the defense's attention on Caitlin and making the right read. Her versatility, like it's not just a roll to the rim. She'll pick and pop. She'll hit a mid-range jumper. She's been great, but now what happens when it's not Caitlin creating that for you or working in that with you? If last year's anything to go by, then it is safe to say that both Clark and Boston form the most dynamic pick-and-roll duo. With 105 dimes, the 23-year-old assisted Boston more than any pair connected in the W, and the shocking bit, it doesn't account for all of the offense Boston generated out of the short roll when the defense had trapped Clark beyond the three-point line. The former USC forward has become adept when reading defenses and proficient when it comes to generating shots for teammates with additional screens and handoffs. Now, fast forward to the Washington Mystics game, and we see how limited Boston's touches were. Her teammates struggled to get her the ball in the half-court enough to be a facilitator. But that was not the only shortcoming. They fell short in utilizing her as a screener as well. And after that handoff at Sydney Colson in the first half-court possession of the game, which gave her the opportunity of a clean jumper at the free throw line, she didn't touch the ball for the coming 4 possessions. Finally, Boston managed to convert the cross-court pass from Colson in the opposite corner, and her team finally scored on an offensive rebound. She finished 4 of 5 from the field and tied with a team-high 4 assists. Other than that, Boston contributed 10 points and 7 rebounds. But it was evident that the Fever needed more in the 6-point loss, shooting just 39.7% from the field and a dismal 23.8% from 3.